Guess how I'm feeling today? Yes, thank you. I am so grateful to be here today. Is this a bold statement? Do you know that you hold the power to heal the world? And you can take this healing power first to yourself, to your family, your friends, the communities where you live and work, and ultimately the world. By interacting and impacting everyone in your circle of influence, you could be the Kickstarter, the influencer, the movement maker. And what if I told you that one of the earliest childhood lessons you learned gave you this power to heal the world? Aside from the response that we were all taught to say, thank you, or merci beaucoup, danke, grazie, we hold this amazing power to heal called gratitude. And for some, this power is readily available. It's available for us to see the abundance even through life's hardships. And for some, this power lies dormant until a hardship comes along that fills us with deep sorrow and fear or loneliness. I don't believe it's just a coincidence that you're here today. But why am I here today? Well, for over 15 years, I've researched, studied, written about, and developed programs on the impact that gratitude has for our health and well-being, our relationships, in our communities, in the workplace, and ultimately from a global perspective. And during this journey, I lost my sister at the young age of 41 to breast cancer. Of course, I could tell you I was grateful to have had her in my life for those short 41 years. And of course, I could tell you I was grateful for the memories that we were able to create. But most often, those sentiments didn't go any deeper than the breath it took to say them. But because of my work and the transformative and healing power of gratitude, I was able to recontextualize my grief. I committed to a weekly gratitude practice of journaling and the challenging but very empowering practice of reframing thoughts and feelings of grief to ones of healing and hope. And over time, I was able to build this pathway from grief to gratitude. But what is gratitude? One of the earliest or the most recent definition that I've seen is it's the deepest touch point of human existence. But actually, gratitude is quite complex. It serves as a compass, keeping us guided and focused on what's really important in life. It energizes us so we accomplish our goals. And it restores us, slowing us down so that we can be more mindful and present in our daily activities and interactions with others. It's also a moral emotion that motivates us to behave with moral integrity. And these same behaviors reinforce future moral actions, mine, yours, and others. It's also considered a strength. And at the same time, it humbles us when we realize we wouldn't be who we are or where we are in life if it weren't for the love and support and caring of others. Overwhelmingly, gratitude supports this fundamental human need for us to know our existence matters. And like all emotions, gratitude is contagious. It activates this law of reciprocity, better known as pay it forward. And we are able to influence the circle of people that we interact with on a regular basis. But why am I talking about gratitude? Well, one of the things that we know is that for us to be able to achieve these outcomes, benefits, is that we need to bring a certain different brain power, so to speak. When we experience the healing powers of gratitude, it's because we have created and we are practicing new mental habits. The brain actually engages in three ways when we are practicing gratitude. One, we intellectually recognize that we're the beneficiary of some gift. 2, we emotionally appreciate the gift or the giver. 3, we willingly acknowledge the gift or the giver. We could all do better with number 3, acknowledging the gift or the giver. It turns out that one of the primary obstacles to practicing or sustaining gratitude are the 24/7 distractions. Every day, we are reminded of the pain and the suffering and the unhappiness that's happening in our world. Let's look at just a few statistics about the global rise of unhappiness and the elevated levels of suffering in the United States. In 2022, Gallup interviewed people from 121 nations and found levels of anger, stress, sorrow, physical pain, worry at a new global high. This has been the highest that Gallup is able to track this since they started to measure emotional health in 2006. The percentage of American adults who evaluate their lives so poorly it's considered suffering is the highest it's been since Gallup started to measure this index, and statistically higher than all prior estimates in the COVID-19 era. Americans report experiencing high levels of stress, daily worry, and a discontent with our moral values. Staggering statistics, are they not? So you might be asking yourself, could the remedy to diminish suffering and increase thriving go back to that early childhood lesson of saying thank you? Well, the answer is yes, and by applying gratitude practice techniques that I'm going to share with you today that comes from the research on gratitude that is now done around the world. Practicing gratitude is not to deny these negative statistics. It is not to deny that every day we have some negative occurrence happening in our life. But it does help us process difficult experiences. It promotes healing and well-being. And because gratitude is transformational, we begin to view the world through a different lens, and it becomes a way of being. So let's look at how to heal the world, starting with ourselves. As most of you may already know, when we regularly reflect and express what we're grateful for, we begin to realize more is going right than wrong. Gratitude helps us build a pathway to more emotional and mental strength. It serves as a protective factor against the symptoms of post-traumatic stress. It fosters post-traumatic growth. One of the earliest and most meaningful gratitude practice techniques is writing a letter of gratitude to someone in your life for whom you are grateful. Some scholars recommend that this letter be between 250 and 300 words. I recommend that you cover these 5 criteria. 1, what were the true actions of this individual? 2, why were they meaningful? 3, how did you benefit? 4, what were their intentions and possible sacrifices made on your behalf? And 5, and this is the most critical, write your letter, call or plan a visit with this individual, and you read your letter to them. I have a colleague that wrote her mom a letter of gratitude for her 90th birthday gift. She said, I didn't know what I could give her that she didn't already have. This letter, she said, was the best gift I ever gave her. And what about expanding to our communities? Have you ever connected with someone in your community and felt this deep sense of gratitude to belong? Maybe you volunteered at a local soup kitchen, only to leave feeling like you received more than you actually gave. Or you donated needed items in a domestic violence center, and felt deep gratitude to be able to support this important cause. Or you made a donation to your local hospital for the immense gratitude you feel for the care you or a loved one received. Gratitude is considered the social glue. Who can forget the New Yorkers clapping and expressing gratitude from their balconies to the frontline COVID workers going to work? Or the Italians who showed these gestures of gratitude by playing beautiful music from their balconies in the evening. Even in isolation, we could find people and experiences and things to be grateful for. And yet there are people in our communities that we walk past every day without considering what are their contributions. So let me ask, who are the people in our communities and what purpose do they serve? And what would our community be like without them? There's a gratitude technique called thanking the invisible people. And when you express gratitude to these individuals, two things happen. One, they look you in the eye instead of downcast to the ground. They stand taller, they stop what they're doing, and they smile. And two, you feel this deep sense of connection and belonging to your community that you vow to do it more often. And here's some good news. When the giver and the receiver of gratitude come together, they mirror the same feeling of connection and belonging and feeling loved. Talk about a deep touch point, right? So let's broaden from our community to organizations. We know when gratitude is a core value in the culture of an organization, we have higher employee engagement and retention. We have greater satisfaction from patients, customers, clients. And because of the heightened awareness of workplace well-being, gratitude can be an antidote to stress and anxiety. It actually lessens the symptoms of burnout and buffers this menacing state of overwhelm. Leaders who express gratitude to their employees, not only do they feel they have built greater trust with the individual, they foster inclusion, and they leave a legacy of looking at our individual differences as strengths versus limitations. A frontline employee told me that his boss expressed gratitude to him for working late and completing a project on time. He said, "I felt seen, I felt respected and cared for." A senior executive writes 5 thank you notes a week to her staff, only to receive messages back from her staff about how she inspires them and recommits them to the mission of service. Leading the way is also peer-to-peer gratitude to create more pro-social behaviors in the workplace. And finally, our world. Being part of something bigger than ourselves creates a sense of purpose, and gratitude keeps us focused and reminding us of what's worthwhile. So we can use this same approach, if you will, to planet Earth. Environmental gratitude scientists believe that the more gratitude we have for the environment, the more compelled we are to take care of our planet. Appreciating the legacy of our ancestors for the care they gave to the land that we live on signals reciprocity. There's a great gratitude technique called taking an awe walk. A college wellness expert gave this assignment to her students. They came back after taking their AWE, awe walk, astonished at what they saw on campus that they had never seen before, and they had been there for years. So, lest we forget that there is constant conflict in the world. Light and dark, justice and injustice, war and peace, conservative, green, labor, Democrat, Republican. But the constant that we all have is this power of gratitude to build the pathways to greater healing and hope and forgiveness and belonging. We can consider this renewable energy for humanity. Back to the night that my sister passed away, I sat down and wrote her a letter of gratitude. My plea to you today is don't wait. Write that letter in the next 24 hours. And I will be immensely grateful that you are letting me continue her legacy. So let's go. You are now the Kickstarters, the influencers, the movement makers. The world is waiting, and we all have a role to play. Thank you.